Hello and welcome to the channel. This starts a series of videos showing you the progress I've made on a 5-inch gauge locomotive which I started building in 2021, December of 2021, when I bought the drawings from a company called Blackgates Engineering. I actually wanted to build a traction engine, but decided upon a locomotive mainly due to the number of parts that you can make without having to buy expensive castings. There are some castings you can buy for these locomotives, and they are expensive, but not necessarily as many as for a traction engine. So I decided upon 5-inch gauge because of the size was sort of appropriate for my workshop. Really, it's a nice size, nice to handle. The nuts and bolts aren't too small for fiddly fingers, and the bigger 7-inch, 7.5-inch ones just seemed a bit too big really for my workshop, and so I went on the 5-inch gauge, and I went for the A class, the Pacific class Doncaster built locomotive, because that's sort of sparks my interest really. The pictures here at the start are actually from the Blackgates Engineering website. They are reasonably priced, very friendly, very helpful, and there are other companies out there doing these sorts of things, but I started with them with the drawings, so I don't see any reason to change from that unless I'm struggling for parts. But you can get lots of parts for these on the internet, and they're reasonably interchangeable if you wanted to do a bit of work. I started this project with the Bogie frame, and the primary reason for that was because the Bogie frame is all on one sheet. The drawings, when they came, they are to scale, they're large, they're quite complex. Never having done this before, I thought it was a sensible place to start, and it did work out for me. I got used to the drawing, everything is in the one place. I did photocopy it, and had a copy that I could draw on and look at and measure. So it was good for me. I learnt the drawing, I learnt how Michael Breeze has laid this out, and it stood me in good stead for moving to other parts of the project. So this is where I started with the frames, the Bogie frames. Started with 2 pieces of steel glued together, bolted together, so they were identical on both sides. Started to change all the profile and mill out the profile slowly, so we got the overall shape of the frames, and they were identical on both sides. You can see then that the axle blocks, where the axle blocks and the horn guides are going to sit, I started drilling those out and profiling those. I obviously used a milling machine to get some of the straight edges, but I did a lot of the edging and a lot of the round edge profile, and I did do by hand. And again, that's the other one there, both pinned together so that they're identical on both sides. The photos do jump on a little here, just as I alluded to earlier. The cameraman was a bit slack in taking the pictures, more concentrating on what he was doing. So you mostly pictures of the Bogie frame nearly completed here, but further parts of the project there are more pictures, so I look forward to posting those in a bit more detail.